Because the late over here ain't long, and they often criticize you for your skin tone. Wanna hold your head high, but you a pretty woman. Get your ugly stride, wanna keep you going, girl, if you like. Just one thing I understand. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. So, thank you. Good evening. So, Congressman John Lewis, before his passing, wrote, "Democracy is not a state, it is an act." And what he meant was that America's democracy is not guaranteed. It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. To guard it and never take it for granted. And protecting our democracy takes struggle, it takes sacrifice, but there is joy in it, and there is progress, because we, the people, have the power to build a better future. And when our very democracy was on the ballot in this election, with the very soul of America at stake, and the world watching, you ushered in a new day for America. To our campaign staff and volunteers, this extraordinary team, thank you for bringing more people than ever before into the democratic process. And for making this victory possible. To the poll workers and election officials across our country who have worked tirelessly to make sure every vote is counted. Our nation owes you a debt of gratitude. You have protected the integrity of our democracy. And to the American people who make up our beautiful country, thank you for turning out in record numbers to make your voices heard. And I know times have been challenging, especially the last several months. The grief, sorrow, and pain, the worries and the struggles. But we have also witnessed your courage, your resilience, and the generosity of your spirit. For 4 years, you marched and organized for equality and justice, for our lives and for our planet. And then you voted. And you delivered a clear message. You chose hope and unity, decency, science, and yes, truth. You chose Joe Biden as the next president of the United States of America. And Joe is a healer, a uniter, a tested and steady hand, a person whose own experience of loss gives him a sense of purpose that will help us as a nation reclaim our own sense of purpose. And a man with a big heart who loves with abandon. It's his love for Jill who will be an incredible First Lady. It's his love for Hunter and Ashley and his grandchildren and the entire Biden family. And while I first knew Joe as vice president, I really got to know him as the father who loved Bo, my dear friend who we remember here today. And to my husband, Doug, and our children, Cole and Ella, and my sister Maya, and our whole family, I love you all more than I can ever express. We are so grateful to Joe and Jill for welcoming our family into theirs on this incredible journey. And to the woman most responsible for my presence here today, my mother, Kamala Harris, who is always in our hearts. When she came here from India at the age of 19, she maybe didn't quite imagine this moment, but she believed so deeply in an America where a moment like this is possible. And so I am thinking about her and about the generations of women, Black women, Asian, white, Latina, Native American women, who throughout our nation's history have paved the way for this moment tonight. Women who fought and sacrificed so much for equality and liberty and justice for all, including the Black women who are often, too often, overlooked, but so often prove they are the backbone of our democracy. All the women who have worked to secure and protect the right to vote for over a century, 100 years ago with the 19th Amendment, 55 years ago with the Voting Rights Act, and now in 2020 with a new generation of women in our country who cast their ballots and continued the fight for their fundamental right to vote and be heard. Tonight, I reflect on their struggle, their determination, and the strength of their vision to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And I stand on their shoulders. And what a testament it is to Joe's character, that he had the audacity to break one of the most substantial barriers that exists in our country and select a woman as his vice president. But while I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last. Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities. And to the children of our country, regardless of your gender, our country has sent you a clear message. Dream with ambition, lead with conviction, and see yourselves in a way that others may not, simply because they've never seen it before. But know that we will applaud you every step of the way. And to the American people, no matter who you voted for, I will strive to be a vice president, like Joe was to President Obama, loyal, honest, and prepared, waking up every day, thinking of you and your family. Because now is when the real work begins, the hard work, the necessary work, the good work, the essential work to save lives and beat this epidemic, to rebuild our economy so it works for working people, to root out systemic racism in our justice system and society, to combat the climate crisis, to unite our country and heal the soul of our nation. And the road ahead will not be easy, but America is ready. And so are Joe and I. We have elected a president who represents the best in us, a leader the world will respect and our children will look up to, a commander-in-chief who will respect our troops and keep our country safe, and a president for all Americans. And it is now my great honor to introduce the President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Hello, my fellow Americans, and the people who brought me to dance, Delawareans. I see my buddy Senator Tom Carper down there, and I think Senator Coons is there, and I think the governor's around. And is that Ruth Ann? And that former Governor Ruth Ann Minner. Most importantly, my sisters-in-law, my sister Valerie. Anyway. Folks, the people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory, a victory for we the people. We've won with the most votes ever cast from presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million. What I must admit has surprised me. Tonight, we're seeing all over this nation, all cities and all parts of the country, indeed across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow, bring a better day. And I'm humbled by the trust and confidence you've placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify, who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States. And work with all my heart, with the confidence of the whole people, to win the confidence of all of you. And for that is what America, I believe, is about. It's about people. And that's what our administration will be all about. I sought this office to restore the soul of America, to rebuild the backbone of this nation, the middle class, and to make America respected around the world again. And to unite us here at home. It's the honor of my lifetime that so many millions of Americans have voted for that vision. And now, the work of making that vision is real. It's a task, the task of our time. Folks, as I said many times before, I'm Jill's husband. And I would not be here without her love and tireless support of Jill and my son Hunter and Ashley, my daughter, and all our grandchildren and their spouses and all our family. They're my heart. Jill's a mom, a military mom, an educator. She has dedicated her life to education. But teaching isn't just what she does, it's who she is. For American educators, this is a great day for y'all. You're going to have one of your own in the White House. And Jill's going to make a great first lady. I'm so proud of her. Well, I have the honor of serving with the fantastic Vice President who you just heard from, Kamala Harris, who makes history as the first woman, first black woman, the first woman from South Asian descent, the first daughter of an immigrant ever elected in this country. Don't tell me it's not possible in the United States. It's long overdue. And we're reminded tonight of those who fought so hard for so many years to make this happen. But once again, America's bent the arc of the moral universe more toward justice. Kamala, Doug, like it or not, your family, you become an honorary Biden, there's no way out. For all those of you who volunteered and worked the polls in the middle of this pandemic, local elected officials, you deserve a special thanks from the entire nation. And my campaign team, all the volunteers, and all who gave so much of themselves to make this moment possible, I owe you. I owe you. I owe you everything. And all those who supported us, I'm proud of the campaign we built and ran. I'm proud of the coalition we put together, the broadest and most diverse coalition in history. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, progressives, moderates, conservatives, young, old, urban, suburban, rural, gay, straight, transgender, white, Latino, Asian, Native American. I mean it, especially those moments, and especially those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb. The African American community stood up again for me. With all those in my back, and I heard yours. I said at the outset, I wanted to represent this campaign to represent and look like America. We've done that. Now that's what I want the administration to look like and act like. For all those of you who voted for President Trump, I understand the disappointment tonight. I've lost a couple times myself, but now let's give each other a chance. It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again. And to make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies, they are Americans. They're Americans. The Bible tells us, to everything there is a season, a time to build, a time to reap and a time to sow, and a time to heal. This is the time to heal in America. Now this campaign is over. What is the will of the people? What is our mandate? I believe it's this. America has called upon us to marshal the forces of decency, the forces of fairness, to marshal the forces of science, and the forces of hope in the great battles of our time. The battle to control the virus, the battle to build prosperity, the battle to secure your family's health care, the battle to achieve racial justice and root out systemic racism in this country. And the battle to save our planet by getting climate under control. The battle to restore decency, defend democracy, and give everybody in this country a fair shot. That's all they're asking for, a fair shot. Folks, our work begins with getting COVID under control. We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments, hugging our grandchildren, our children, our birthdays, weddings, graduations, all the moments that matter most to us until we get it under control. On Monday, I will name a group of leading scientists and experts as transition advisors to help take the Biden-Harris COVID plan and convert it into an action blueprint that will start on January the 20th, 2021. That plan will be built on bedrock science. It will be constructed out of compassion, empathy, and concern. I will spare no effort, none, or any commitment to turn around this pandemic. Folks, I'm a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as those who did. Let this grim era of demonization in America begin to end here and now. The refusal of Democrats and Republicans to cooperate with one another is not some mysterious force beyond our control. It's a decision, a choice we make. And if we can decide not to cooperate, then we can decide to cooperate. And I believe that this is part of the mandate given to us from the American people. They want us to cooperate in their interest. And that's the choice I'll make. And I'll call on Congress, Democrats and Republicans alike, to make that choice with me. The American story is about slow yet steadily widening the opportunities in America. And make no mistake, too many dreams have been deferred for too long. We must make the promises of the country real for everybody, no matter their race, their ethnicity, their faith, their identity, or their disability. Folks, America has always been shaped by inflection points, by moments in time where we've made hard decisions about who we are and what we want to be. Lincoln in 1860, coming to save the Union. FDR in 1932, promising a beleaguered country a new deal. JFK in 1960, pledging a new frontier. And 12 years ago, when Barack Obama made history, he told us, yes, we can. Well, folks, we stand at an inflection point. We have an opportunity to defeat despair, to build a nation of prosperity and purpose. We can do it. I know we can. I've long talked about the battle for the soul of America. We must restore the soul of America. Our nation is shaped by the constant battle between our better angels and our darkest impulses. And what presidents say in this battle matters. It's time for our better angels to prevail. Tonight, the whole world is watching America. And I believe at our best, America is a beacon for the globe. We will not lead, we will lead not only by the example of our power, but by the power of our example.
All right, Maggie, are we done with the video, with the TV?
I can't hear it, but I think it's probably wrapping up soon. Langy, can you hear me?
Yeah. It is actually wrapped up, but this is a little lagging. So wrapped up about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. It got over in the TV several few minutes ago, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to unmute all, so just so that you can speak.
All right. Can you hear me, Giovanni?
It goes like this.
Just give it
And
one
he
more
will
minute.
raise you
Lango.
up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, and make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. And now together, on eagle's wings, we embark on the work that God and history have called upon us to do, with full hearts and steady hands, with faith in America and in each other, with love of country, a thirst for justice. Let us be the nation that we know we can be, a nation united, a nation strengthened, a nation healed. The United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, there's never been anything we've tried we've not been able to do. So remember, as my grandpapa, our grandpapa used to say when I walked out of his home when I was a kid up in Scranton, he said, "Joey, keep the faith." And our grandmother, when she was alive, she yelled, "No, Joey, spread it. Spread the faith. God love you all. May God bless America, and may God protect our truth." Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. All right. That was good. Which one? Okay. Can you guys unmute yourself?
Yeah. I can hear you. Yeah, that's fine.
So that was awesome. I actually liked Kamala's speech better. Of course, I'm a little biased. But I also liked her outfit, by the way. It was very classy.
Hey, Maggie, I cannot start my video. It says host is disabled.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
It's a red shirt there.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay, you should be able to do it now.
Okay.
yeah. I'm putting a
All right.
blue blanket here. It's okay.
Okay, so
The red unlaundered shirt.
all right, so now our program begins, and what I'd like to do is basically, wait, let me close this CNN crap.
Hey, Maggie, can you also unmute my video, rather
Yeah, hold on.
enable the video?
Okay, there you go. Who else is that?
Langi, buffava.
Hey, can you guys see me?
Buffava அப்படிங்க அப்படி வந்து இப்படி ஒரு பண்ணுடா.
No, Chunk always has the muscle, but he's very, very polite guy. I like that about him. Unless you mess with him, then he'll show you the other side. But
About 35 years of marriage, I'm completely mellowed out.
So guys,
I see trees of green. I see them blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue.
skies of blue.
Clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights, And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more. I'll never know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
All right, Louis Armstrong to start the proceedings. I'm going to now hand it over to Juwadi. Juwadi, can you share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, I don't have any presentation or anything. Just going to speak. That's all.
Okay. Let me bring the spotlight. Hold on. Okay.
Hey, can you guys see me? Do I have enough? Is there enough light in my background, or
Who is this?
this is Bala?
Bala.
Oh,
Prabhakar.
yeah. You're a little bit dark in the sense that looks like the lights are.
I'll go to another place, different place.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Sridhar, can you take control or no?
Sure. I can speak. Can you?
I tried to make you the spotlight, but you're not appearing.
He's appearing on my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Thank you. So I think the key thing what I wanted to share with you guys is that this is a great day for all of us. Many of us actually worked hard to kind of make this change happen. And I think there are a long list of people. Some of the people in our REC group who actually worked out a lot on this accord is DK Sundar, Sita, Ramesh Menon, Praveen Chopra, of course, Ham from Pennsylvania made a big difference, of course. Then we have folks like Bala Prabhakar, who went out doing the curing, and as well as Khalil providing support from Southern Cal, and of course Mahendran from in Florida, reaching out to all his friends in Miami, and we have also VVNS Prabhakar, who did contribute to various races all over the country, especially South Carolina Senate race as well. And so I'm sure I might have missed some other folks. On a very positive note, Bala Elango for taking all the trouble and getting all the beatings from all the folks, but he had the proof to show that he actually voted for Joe Biden, and which is very, very welcome. So our friend Professor Madhavan, his daughter, who's cast an important ballot in Georgia for us, so everything mattered. So it was a great team effort, I would say. So that's very, very satisfying for all of us. And I also want to share some important thing where I got into this Desi Blue thanks to my friend, DK Sundar, and we have a special guest, Sangeeta, on the call. I'm going to share 1 minute of my experience with Desi Blue, and then I'll ask Sangeeta to give a little bit of a bigger picture of the organization, what it's all up to, okay? So anyway, I got involved in this and phone banking, especially, which was very, very helpful for me to kind of get over my my concerns of whether people will be rude or anything like that. But I got to tell you, this was an amazing experience because, you know, I talked to people in some random parts of different counties, you know, Bucks County, Allegheny County, in Pennsylvania, as well as Philadelphia area. And 99.9% of the people were very polite. And I had very good conversation with one gentleman, especially I vividly remember. He's 50-something guy. He has a couple of kids in his 20s. And he said, you know, I'm thinking of voting for Trump. And then I said, you know, why are you thinking of voting for him? Oh, well, I voted for Barack Obama in the past, but I think, you know, Trump is good for India. Because then I started asking, you know, how old are your kids? He said, my kids are in the early 20s. And my kids are also want to vote for Joe Biden, but they seem to be, you know, not listening to my viewpoint. Then I asked him, what is your viewpoint? Why do you want to vote for Trump? Then he started saying, oh, because, you know, Trump is going to be better for India because of the Kashmir issue. He's not going to interfere. Then I started explaining him all the reasons what he has told lies to everyone about the Kashmir thing, how he did not mediate and everything. So after almost 15 to 20 minutes of debate, finally he agreed, yeah, you're right. I think I should not be voting for Trump. And that was very satisfying to me. So just wanted to share some story there. Okay. And at this time, I want to let Sangeeta, Sangeeta Ramakrishnan, she's actually one of the core members of Desi Blue, to give a little bit of a overview of the kind of impact the Desi Blue organization of volunteers did in this election. Sangeeta?
Thanks, Sri. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah. Thank you for joining.
Okay. My laptop is completely acting up. Are you seeing my video? I can't make out.
We can see you very well.
We can see you.
Oh.
And we can hear you.
I cannot see the Zoom app on my laptop. I was just about to reboot, but before that, I thought I'll ask you before I reboot.
No, we can see it perfectly fine.
Okay, so but I don't know if I'll be able to pull any slides because something is wrong with the Zoom app on my laptop. But we can talk about it. Let's see. Just give me 1 second to see if I can fix this problem. If not, we will just talk about it. So the app is running and you can see my video, but the app, my computer says the app is not running.
Do you have two monitors? Do you have two monitors by any chance?
No, I don't. That's what I'm wondering.
Sangeeta, I'm going to give you like 3 or 4 minutes and I'm going to come back to you.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay, go.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to play a song from actually Joe Biden's playlist. I hacked into his phone and I downloaded this song. Sangeeta, are you ready?
I think she's rebooting her laptop. Give her a couple of more minutes.
Okay. So now we're going to go to a song from Kamala Harris's playlist. This is actually one of her favorite songs. So here we go.
Do you have the creative brief?
Go fish! Do you have the project's deadline?
You know, it's however you feel, but you just have to fit it between that space, that little space.
Can you guys see the video?
Yeah. You know? All right. And then you were trying to fit it to the note, what you felt in between it, like.
I'm waiting on Zoom.
Yeah.
And you can change that. You know, and that's the
Allows
I guess Kamala has some funky taste. So, Sangeeta, you ready?
Distance has been on all of our minds.
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
All right, let's share screen. I thought you were gonna, screen sharing is disabled, it says.
Yeah, hold on. Juwadi, can you handle it?
Yeah, multiple.
I thought you were gonna play some Agni Nakshatram song or something like that for Kamala Harris's playlist.
No, in the interview she said that's her favorite artist. So that's why I picked it.
I'm just kidding.
We'll get her to talk Tamil.
Get the option now? We should have.
Tamil Chitti song.
Chitti song, yes, yes. All Chittis are excited, and I myself am a Chitti, so
yeah,
that is exciting. Yeah, so my husband's from Besanagar, and I'm actually distantly related to Kamala, so it's a funny story. But yeah. So thanks, Sri, for having me here, and so excited to see that you are making calls into Allegheny County and Bucks County, and all our brain cells are used up with county names in Pennsylvania. Right. It's amazing. I think now I know more of the Pennsylvania counties than I even know California counties at this point. But so quick introduction, I'm Sangeeta Ramakrishnan here in Silicon Valley in Saratoga. Got involved, I'm also from Chennai. I went to Gindi, Anna University in Chennai. And so when I saw mention of REC Trichy, I was like, okay, this is sort of my neighborhood. Anyway, so I'm a techie, pretty much the stereotypical Desi in the Valley, and got involved with political activism a little bit in the Hillary campaign. I phone bagged for Hillary, but it was kind of I had to jump through a lot of hoops to find an opportunity where I can call fellow Desis. It wasn't easy to find that opportunity. They did have a little bit in Virginia and Florida, and I had to jump through a lot of hoops. One of my colleagues was interested in volunteering too, so he and I just showed up at a San Jose office. That time it used to be physical. You have to show up in an office in order to do it. So we went there and we phone banked, and it was quite an interesting experience. That's all I would say, but it was very hard to find. So someone who wanted to do it couldn't easily find an opportunity to engage, to call fellow Desis. 2018, I joined Desi Blue. That was an organization that just formed in 2018. And so I heard about it and joined. And since then, I've been very active with it. Like Sri said, I'm one of the organizers in Desi Blue. One of the states that I'd adopted and focused on was Pennsylvania. Also led phone banking generally, nationally to a large extent, especially into Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and helped a few other states get going with that. So it was so exciting to hear Sri mention that many of you have been so active in the cycle and engaged with various things. That is awesome. Love to see fellow Desis who are politically active and engaged, of course. So we all heard the speeches. I thought the speeches were really good. So jumping ahead to what Desi Blue is about, our mission statement is to mobilize Desis to vote Democratic in 2020 and beyond. Now, what we want to be when we grow up past 2020, we have to kind of reconfigure and decide, but it's generally a Desi community focused on mobilizing Desis. Now, of course, we also help with other, demographics, but our key focus is on the Desi community. We started in 2018 just in California, but now are pretty much nationwide. The states that we really need to update it. In the last month, we ran out of time to keep up, but all of those states pretty much have chapters, I think, other than Minnesota and Nevada, we don't have a chapter, but everywhere else we have chapters. And we have a pretty nice distributed model where we have a national team, but really the work on the ground is done by the Arizona team, by the Texas team, the Georgia team, Pennsylvania team, and so on. And we bring sort of the nationwide resources to bear on various races and various states as they need help. So it's been tremendous to see it grow from, I think when I joined, it was maybe a few dozen people at most. That is the entire universe of people who had ever engaged with Desi Blue, and now we're probably closer to 4,000. So that's been pretty exciting. And some of you may wonder why the South Asian population, why we focused on Desis. we literally make up the margin, right? Elections are being won and lost by such small margins. Like Michigan was lost by 11,000 votes in 2016, Pennsylvania by about 44 something in 2016. And you can see the South Asian population in these regions. And thank you, Sri, so much for phone banking into Pennsylvania. Just into Pennsylvania, we made 50,000 calls to Desis in Pennsylvania. So that was quite an incredible feat. Those of you who are phone banked, you know it is somewhat of hard work in the sense that, you know, it takes time. It's not like text that you can send 1,000 an hour. Usually you can do about 50 calls an hour at most, 40 to 50 calls typically. So making 50,000 calls took a lot of effort, but we had a lot of volunteers doubling down on some of the most important states. And so we did that. So we are literally in the margin, you know, we're in the 0.5% to 1% range, irrespective of which state you look at. And elections are being won and lost in that margin. And we know that very well this year because Georgia is still sort of what, 0.1%. So that's what we do. So this election cycle in 2020, what we did is we sent over 150,000 postcards, to a large extent to Desis, but in certain other cases we sent to others. We made over 200,000 phone calls. We sent over 400,000 text messages. We did a bunch of flyer drops, both in person and over mail. Finally, ran into a group called Chitti Brigade in the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and they helped us with some literature drop into Pennsylvania, people driving down and spending half a day from New York. We did a bunch of Facebook social media ads. We probably reached about 500,000 with Desi-themed ads. We also produced a number of radio ads in 8 languages to reach about a couple of 100,000 Desis that way. And I don't know who was the person who was speaking, but there was someone just saying about how, actually it was Sri, I guess, talking about calling into Pennsylvania, and this gentleman saying, oh, you know, Trump is more friendly to India and stuff like that. I think we really need to work to improve our narrative. I think the fundamentals are pretty good in the Democratic Party, but it's the media, the narrative that we are not able to control. I think we need to do a better job with that. Did a bunch of fundraisers, did a bunch of interviews with radio stations, including NPR. We've been on NPR, The Hindu, Indian Express, India West, American Kahani, NPR twice, once in Pennsylvania, once nationwide. And our youth chapter was on Teen Vogue. So I think that's the only time I know somebody who was featured on Vogue is through the Desi Blue work. Some of our youth was featured. And we have a bunch of other articles, I guess, in Guardian and everything. So this was a quote from the Democratic National Committee. I just got this message last night. They said, Desi Blue saved us this cycle. Hopefully your members know that and believe that, because you were the ones who were organizing Georgia the longest, and now we are at the cusp of flipping it. So the gentleman who runs DNC for all of Asian American Pacific Islander outreach messaged me this yesterday. So I was incredibly proud of our Georgia team who had the faith and had been working with John Ossoff from 2017 and 2018 with Stacey Abrams. And Stacey Abrams really pulled Joe Biden and Kamala Harris over the line in Georgia. Hopefully in recount it'll hold. But winning Georgia was just shocking to me. Did not expect that. Pennsylvania, we worked hard to win it, but Georgia was icing on the cake. Our origin story, it was just started by a bunch of Desi guys here in the Valley. I believe all of them are engineers. They just, many of them were even independent or moderate, not necessarily very progressive or democratic necessarily. They focused on 3 House races to help flip the House at that time, organized a bunch of get out the vote activities. They were all relatively new to political organizing, by the way. So it was sort of built from scratch and, you know, learning on the fly. They started in July. I think I joined them around October, just before the elections. So that is me and my mom canvassing in Tracy for Josh Harder, along with Sunil, one of the founders. You know, this is another founder, Rajat. They were there. So various folks going out at that time, you know, we didn't need to be socially distanced. This was 2018, October. We were out there canvassing in Central Valley of California. So California is very blue, but that's really the coastal part of California. The rural parts were pretty red, so that's where we went, about an hour and a half drive, 2 hours drive to various places. In 2020, I had a few more pictures, but between my computer dying and all that, seems like I have only an older version. But this is a picture that from the Georgia team, which I really like, because they made these signs called Desis for Biden-Harris. These signs were so popular, they managed to get featured in Kamala Harris's social media profile, and John Ossoff, with whom they're standing, and so on. So they've done great work on the ground in Georgia. So I think most of you seem to be already engaged in grassroots activism. For those of you who maybe have just scratched the surface, want to learn more, many of you maybe actually know more about organizing than me. So apologies if I'm telling you things that you already know. So you can really engage in grassroots activism by writing letters, postcards, phone banking, text banking, literature drops, canvassing. You know, I didn't list canvassing. Just in the last few weeks, we got more comfortable with canvassing. We still do it in a socially distanced way. You know, we knock and then we step away several feet, wait for the residents to come out and maintain distance. And our youth team was out in Arizona canvassing the last weekend. So that was last weekend, I guess, literally. Yeah, those 4 days they were out there canvassing. And of course, we were canvassing in a few other places too, but canvassing was very limited this election cycle, which probably was the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. And hence the margins are, I believe, so tight, because we did not do door to door as much. We as in Democrats in general. The campaigns were not ready to commit to door-to-door canvassing, liability, all sorts of things. So the only people who did mostly door-to-door was grassroots group, not directly affiliated with the campaign. And of course, the other thing I would highly recommend is, many of you are already engaged with activism. Do spread the word and encourage your friends and family to join, right? You know, whether you join Desi Blue and do it with us or with another group, it really doesn't matter. But I would highly encourage you all to speak up. I know sometimes it feels a little unnatural to kind of toot your horn and say, this is what I did. But I believe it really is powerful when people see fellow Desis, first-gen immigrants like many of us, stepping up to the plate and doing these things. They can get motivated to say, oh, if they can do it, I can do it too, kind of, right? Not in a negative thing, in a positive way. So highly recommend that you all speak about your activism to your friends and family, bring them in. And there are so many intergenerational families, you know, who are engaged. Today we had a celebration call. Sri, did you join the Pennsylvania celebration call this morning?
I could not, sorry, I had
to
take something else. Yeah.
No worries, no worries. We had, I think, about 60 or 70 people join the call, and then this young woman in California spoke up and said how she joined, and, you know, she was very active, and she sounded very young, maybe, you know, she's in college or something. Right after her, her mom chimes in and says, it was my daughter who brought me in and said, hey, everybody there, a lot of them are your generation. You should come and join too. Till then, the mom had thought this is like, you know, these 20, you know, woke kids who are trying to do stuff, and it's not for the 40s and 50s age group. But then the mom also joined, and she's been phone banking. And we do in-language phone banking quite a bit. Gujarati being the number one, just because there's a large Gujarati population in the US. But after that, we also did Telugu phone banking and Punjabi phone banking in Pennsylvania. So in-language helps. My mom did phone banking into Pennsylvania. She made like, I think, 1,500 calls. And she didn't even join the Telugu phone bank. I mean, they're Tamil, but she also speaks Telugu. But she said, that's okay, I'm comfortable talking to anybody. But she would switch to Hindi or to Telugu or to Tamil, depending on who she's talking to if necessary. So that works pretty well to connect with people. So I think the in-language work helps. And especially, I think, for the Gujarati population, I think there's a little bit more work we have to do to convince them that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Democrats are the right, you know, party and right candidates for them to support. But what we did find is, when a Gujarati-speaking volunteer called them, first of all, the likelihood of the phone pickup is higher. They see some Rupal Desai, they see some Hina Patel or whatever calling, and they're more likely to pick up thinking, oh, this must be a second cousin or a third cousin or a friend or somebody. So first of all, you get your foot in the door. And then on top of it, when they start speaking in Gujarati, there is a sense of community. They may be willing to share a little bit more. For example, Sri's example of what that gentleman told him, the voter that he spoke to, it's unlikely that voter would have said the same thing if it was not a Desi volunteer calling him. I doubt if he would have opened up and said, it's due to India relationship that I want to vote for Trump, or even something like that. And if they don't give us anything, it's hard to break in and talk further. So that's where the cultural engagement really helps to sort of break through that and have those conversations. So highly recommended. In these days of COVID, I think after canvassing, phone banking is generally considered the most effective. Again, it's, it's intimidating for people who haven't done it, but I would say try it. And if you're wondering where is the opportunity to do it, well, Georgia, 2 Senate runoffs coming January 5th. So we're having a planning call tomorrow to kick off the work there. I mean, the Georgia team has never stepped away, right? They're very active, they're engaged. We're talking to them to make sure we support them in any way we can. So if any of you have friends in Georgia, please invite them to join us. We need more boots on the ground. Not only for them to canvass, but they may know networks. That is, they may know their neighborhood, they may know their community, they may know Desis who are part of the Tamil Sangam or the Vata or whatever, Marathi Mandal or whatever it is. They may know more people. So definitely having more people local to Georgia really helps. But even if you're not local to Georgia, we're going to be kicking off major activities soon. Was that a question?
But, 2 of us are from Atlanta.
Yeah,
so I'm from Atlanta.
Ooh, awesome. You're my new best friends.
Yeah, sign them up, Sangeeta.
I'm sorry?
I said sign them up.
I already
Yes,
am in a
absolutely.
WhatsApp group with Desi Georgia, Desi Blue Georgia group.
Okay, excellent. Great. Yes. Please do engage. You must know either Uma, what's her last name? Too many people. Uma Palam or Anjali Anjeti.
Anjali Jetty, yeah, I know her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Suresh Kolichala. Yeah.
Suresh Kolichala,
Yeah.
I know him very well. Yeah, he lives like 2 miles from where I live. So he was
Excellent.
the one who gave
Excellent.
all his contact information, And,
Okay, great.
You guys did a great job. I mean, I got, so many messages from all the TSP people, and, it was nice to see that activism. My question to you is, will you refocus all these volunteers now into the Georgia runoff? Is that the plan?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Sorry, Georgia Desis, we're coming for you.
All right.
I mean, one of our volunteers was kidding. We're going to have more volunteers trained into Georgia than there are Georgia Desis. But that's not true. That was just a joke.
when I went for curing yesterday, Maggie, they said, we are signing you up for runoff, not necessarily for presidential election, because it was almost done, we were able to cure few ballots, but that was not going to make a big impact. But however, every vote matters. But however, they were looking forward to, using us for runoff. That's very critical.
Correct. Yes, it's very critical.
My other question is, Sangeeta, is in addition to the Indian American community, is there a way to expand that to maybe cover the whole South Asian community? Because, India, Pakistan, we're all like similar.
Yeah. So in fact, our model is that we do cover the full South Asian diaspora. Indian American is the largest chunk because we are the largest population of them. But we, contact everybody, all of the South Asian diaspora. Nepali, Sri Lankan, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, all of that, Bhutanese, all of them. Yeah, and in some cases, it's really hard to even separate out, right? I mean, Bhandari is a last name in Nepal and in India. Khan is a common last name across all of the 3 major countries, right? India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So, we absolutely reach out to all South Asians, not just Indian Americans. But Indian Americans end up constituting the largest majority of it, which is, sort of obvious.
Thank you very much for taking the time to come do this presentation, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So this was my last slide. So those of you who are not yet engaged, please check out desiblue.org/join. Join us. Right now emails are flying because people are excited, but generally we limit emails down to a couple a week, especially now that the election is over, 2020. It'll go down. So please don't worry about how much barrage of things you're going to get. We have Facebook, Twitter handle. Please join us in any way. And thanks for all the work all of you are doing. And especially the Georgia folks, please let us know how we can help you. We are counting on you all to win this for us.
Thank you very much, Sangeeta, for taking time. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the hard work you did.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for turning Pennsylvania blue. I'm a Pennsylvanian, so.
Along with Sri. Oh, yeah. Oh, we have a Pennsylvanian here. Wow.
Yes.
How did we miss you?
Yeah, no. That's
We must have called you. We must have.
No, I'm in Lehigh County. I don't know if you guys, because I think you guys are focusing on Bucks and the South. No.
Counties, all over.
Lehigh also. We know all the counties now. Yes.
Okay, maybe.
We sent a postcard to every South Asian that we could.
Yeah, we got that. We got actually way too many. I was going to tell Desi Blue, don't waste your money on us.
There's no way for us to know whom to leave out. So we sent a postcard to everyone in Pennsylvania. We text banked pretty much to everybody whose phone number we had in Pennsylvania. And we made 50,000 calls. There are about 80,000 South Asians. So in that order. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sangeeta, I think I accidentally made you the host. Can you make me the host again?
Sure. Happy to. I'm sorry, who spoke up? Is it Mahendra?
Maggie, Mahendra.
That was a good catch, so it didn't disappear when I left the meeting.
Yeah, I think you did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, folks, thank you so much. I will take off, and it's so cool to see a college group getting together like this. I was already shaming my college, saying, hey, we're not doing anything. What's going on? So, yeah.
We have a good group. Thank you for your help.
We are a good group.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks a lot, Sangeeta.
Thank you.
And now for the guy in the red shirt. Go ahead, COS. I can't find a blue shirt. Okay, Portugal.
Can you all see me and hear me okay?
All right, man. Yeah.
You're going to make the speech? Acceptance speech.
Yeah. Mahendran asked me to talk for a couple of minutes as to why I voted blue. And I'm sure all of you know that I live in Atlanta, Georgia for almost 20 years now, 20 years. So obviously it was a no-brainer for me, right? I mean, all of you are good friends, close friends to me, but Sangeeta is one of my best friends. And a few months ago, he told me, "Dai, nee mattum Trump ku vote pota for the rest of my life or your life, I'm not going to speak to you," is what he said. So I mean, that was too much, very high stakes for me. So, but more seriously, I think it really came down to, if I have to really paraphrase or summarize, it's really one word is character, right? I mean, really Trump lacked character, and I think Joe Biden is going to unite the country. And I do believe that Trump did not start the racism, but, being, as we call, leader of the free world or whatever, he said so many things that really divided the country. And, see, I mean, and I've got kids here. I don't mind getting shot. I don't mind, cutting short my life by 20, 25 years. But I worry about my kids, right? Both my kids have brown skin, and I want to leave behind a very safe country for them. And that really made me, it was a no-brainer decision. That's why I voted blue. And I hope, but I also want to say that, when my son was very young, when he used to play baseball, I go there, I see, I've got a lot of this, so-called, non-college educated, white, blue-collar workers who come as dads and, as coaches and all of them. And I've been friends with them for a long time. And I really hope that the new administration addresses some of those, issues that they have and really bring the country together. So that's all I wanted to say. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lango. And, I hope you stay blue till January runoffs.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Mahendra, Mag, I just wanted to let you know that Ravi Sanna Reddy joined from India. So.
Oh, let me let him in. Okay, hold on. Okay,
No, he's already in. I'll
okay.
let him in, but.
Oh, okay. I see you.
Hi, Ravi.
Let him say hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Sanardi.
Hello.
Sanna Reddy, how are you?
Hello, Bala.
Hi, Ravi.
Hello. Good.
Ready.
Hey,
Happy to see
AVB.
all of you.
AVB.
Hey.
Are you in prison or something?
No, man. Like I am in the spiritual path.
Oh, okay. It looked like you're from an old Hindi movie, or like you're in prison or something. And you just been left there. They forgot about you.
Hey, Jimmy, you recognized me just now?
Well, the big white beard threw me off, man.
Okay, now we're going to turn to Balasan. He's got some insights into why Georgia turned blue.
All right.
Wow. All right. I mean, if you look at the history, historically, like at 2016, Hillary won or lost by like 200,000 votes. And next in 2018, Stacey Abrams lost by 50,000 votes. So it kept on, reducing and becoming more and more towards blue. And even if you look at, when I moved here in Georgia in 1998, the Fulton County where I live is off Johns Creek. Johns Creek used to be the last, the place where my house used to be the last one on 141, in Fulton County. And as a result of Asians moving into the community, whites started moving out into north. So as people, more and more people started moving in, most of them are Asians. So as a result of that, Fulton County turned blue, and they are actually 78%, or I think 70, north of 70%. This guy, Biden, President-elect Biden got. And nearby counties like DeKalb, etc., there are like African Americans live there, and they also they are more or less, they like, they are Democrats. And so long story short, I think the reason is, number one is more and more newcomers to Georgia were Democrats, and that was and Stacey Abrams laid a groundwork to energize these Democrats, and we all got we became more active, and the turnout was good, and as a result, I think the Georgia flipped blue. Groundwork was done by Stacey Abrams. I mean, she did a great job, and combined with the newcomers and youth, and also the immigrants, they played a very important role in flipping blue.
Yeah, that was definitely a surprise for me. I didn't expect.
I mean, if you look at where I live, Maggie, 20 years, actually, when I had friends from Patni Computers, I believe, right? From Ahmedabad, guys came like 3 families or 4 families. When they moved, their house used to be the last one in north of Atlanta. And now this is the epicenter of the Fulton County North. And we have a lot of whites as a result of us moving in. Whites started moving out, and Forsyth County is the north of Fulton, and Forsyth County still is red. They got like, I think 52, 53%, but we also see a lot of Indians moving into Forsyth now because of, there are not many houses in Fulton County, on sale. So, I mean, Forsyth County, one day, I think probably in 3 to 4 years may turn blue. and Savannah. I mean, there are like only 3 or 4 clusters, I think, turned blue in Georgia. Atlanta in 3 or 4 counties. Clayton County, where a lot of African Americans live. It's in near airport. And DeKalb, DeKalb is Atlanta. And we have Cobb County. Cobb County is like a 53-54%, I believe, blue. And then we have Gwinnett. Gwinnett is nearby. Yesterday I went for curing, curing votes, ballots. It was very interesting experience for me. And it, like Jawadi, you were talking about, how, I was a little bit scared about knocking on doors, etc. yesterday. But when I went, I mean, I was able to see the other side of America. In Gwinnett County, when I knocked on door, I mean, they didn't mind. They were pleasant to speak with. Even like a Koreans. Yesterday I went, like I met like 2 or 3 Koreans. It's not the ballot, the name of the person was not him. I mean, his daughter-in-law. And I knocked on the door, that guy came out, and I told him if it was him. I mean, the name I couldn't make whether it's male or female. So I asked him, and he said it was daughter-in-law. And then I asked him who he voted for. He said, I voted for Trump. All right, can you please forward this? Can you ask your daughter-in-law to come out and speak with me? No, she's not here, he told me. And after that, I asked him if would you mind forwarding this information or telling this information, contacting her and informing her about the ballot issue. She said no. I mean, this is the same response I got from another Korean. He also didn't want to talk about. I mean, he didn't want to help. I didn't want to seek the help because the moment he said Trump supporter, I didn't want to pursue, right? I didn't want to help Trump there. And then there are like a few people didn't want to engage. And then the 3 or 4 people were very quiet, very, very pleasant. And they also gave me, one of them gave me his ID and also affidavit for me to email them, and emailed it like at 12:15, and 3-4 hours later it was accepted. It was, I mean, that's unbelievable, amazing. That's what I mean. I didn't trust in September. I did not believe in USPS after that. He acted like his agent, USPS general, postmaster, or whatever you call it. He acted like
Postmaster General.
Postmaster General, right?
Yeah, Postmaster General. But my daughter sent her ballot from New York, and it was accepted in about 8 or 9 days. So the system worked very well.
That's great.
Yes,
Prabhakar, everything was nice, but just don't send out all the whites from your neighborhood. Please keep them there too. It's okay to be friendly.
they
Sorry,
don't
but
like us, Khalil. They don't like us. Unfortunately.
Hey, I tell you, I just woo them. I have a lot of friends, but I just woo them with food. There's nothing that the desi spices hook them on. There's nothing when you break bread. I'm joking, but I'm just telling you one of the main things that many of you have been there. So it's not just about me. Many of you have been in the arena for over 25 plus years, and politics is a long game. And people don't know until you go and reach out and you talk to them. And one of the best ways to really break through is to break bread, together with them. And that really breaks the ice, and then people start engaging. So I was just joking, but I was just basically saying, because one of the things is that it's a different topic I don't want to get into, is because I'm also concerned about gentrification, as I call it, which is happening a lot in Europe. And I used to live in Europe, and that's a problem. And we should not allow that to happen here. That happened in Africa. I have friends who moved from Africa who are Desi background, 3rd, 4th generation people. So that's a bigger discussion for another time. It's time for celebration, but we want to also include
absolutely
more. You're muted, Maggie.
Yep.
I know you're talking, but I couldn't hear you.
Okay, now you okay. Now speak. Okay.
So
No, speak, Meg.
now we're going to go to a guy that sent me a video because he could not participate. Let me find it. I just had it. Okay, here we go.
My friend at RT84, sorry I could not
You got to share your screen.
Yeah, hold on.
join in person due to Diwali celebration by Arvind Rajput happening at the same time. But I'm very happy with the way the results have come. By the way, I'm more happy to receive the Gongura hamper from our admin than the win of Biden. So for me, the getting the Gongura is more happier than Biden winning. But jokes apart, I think Arizona has turned a corner big time. As you all know that it has been a Republican bastion for a long time. But I think the reason why we turned a corner is definitely the public opinion against Trump. Obviously, that was a major thing which happened. Obviously, the demography of Arizona has changed in the past 5-10 years. It used to be a highly adult population of older people, and now with the last 10 years, we have seen influx of younger generation and people moving from California. So that has contributed. And then the Hispanic community definitely has voted en masse for Biden. So I'm very excited with the result. And I know that you are all happy. So I'm going to sing a quick song for this victory. So Nikhil, can you play the video for me? सुन सत्या सुन बाला बाइडन जीता ट्रंप हारा अरे बड़ा मजा आया है सुनो मेरी बात झूमे नाचे गाए अब आज सारी रात सुन सत्या सुन बाला बाइडन जीता ट्रंप हारा अरे बड़ा मजा आया है सुनो मेरी बात झूमे नाचे गाए चलो आज सारी रात सुन सत्या सुन बाला. Thank you.
He put that together in like 10 minutes.
Fantastic. Hey, Mag, you got to share in the WhatsApp group. That's very good.
That was beautiful. Wow, I love the spontaneity.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the guy that delivered us Pennsylvania. Ham, are you still awake?
Oh, very much awake. But I didn't deliver a shit, man.
Yes, you did.
So anyway, I should thank Jawadi for doing an awesome job. I mean, this and the Desi Blue guys, they did a fantastic job. I'll share the map with you guys, right? I mean, this is how our map looks. So this is how, as you see, Allentown is blue. It's always been blue forever, for 30, 40 years. So it's reliably blue, although it has become light blue over time. And then, so we joke, right? I mean, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and Alabama in between, and that's how it is. There are 67 counties here. So it's pretty sad that most of the counties are very red. But that said, the population is very low. The high population centers are around Pittsburgh, around Philly, around Allentown, and up there near Scranton. It's not shown here. Wilkes-Barre is shown, but Scranton is not. So
Montgomery is not Sriram?
No, it is south here, right here. This is Montgomery. So as you see, the percentage-wise, from last time to this time, the increase was only marginal. Dem share, yeah.
Well,
So
John King Maru Oliver Kumar இருக்குது.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No. I'm just showing you guys. So
Yeah, sure.
So the thing is, this is how this year has been pretty good because we've won one more county. This county. This is the county that always flips, Northampton County, which is next door,
Right.
and so it's part of Lehigh Valley. So we won. So very proud of the Pennsylvanians to have done it. But we didn't win by increasing the percentage. We won by there were more people voting. That's all. So it's a pretty sad thing, and the percentage was only a marginal increase. It was like 1% increase. So that means we have more work cut out in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is like five states in one. There's completely different cultures all over the place. The East is blue collar, high Catholic concentration place. The middle is Scotch Irish wasps who actually struggle. Actually, they are in very, very bad shape. And then so is in the southwest. So I don't know if these are redeemable places. They're extremely poor. They've been poor for like 40 years, and I don't know if it's even redeemable. But I think the rest of the places, the east is where. That's why the focus is on the east to make it all blue, and that's what Jawadi did, right? Jawadi, you went to Bucks, right? I mean, this is the neighboring
Bucks
county here. Yeah, that's the
Allegheny
one.
County, Montgomery County.
Yeah.
And
Allegheny is here.
Yeah,
So
Delaware.
that's Pittsburgh. Yeah. So Delaware is down here. So that's Chester. Yeah, somewhere there. So anyway, so that's what happened in Pennsylvania, and I think there's fantastic work done by all the thing. I think the Biden campaign rightfully focused on Pennsylvania also. So that's why we were able to. Kamala was here, by the way, and but not so long ago, about 3 weeks ago. So she had a thing. But honestly, Trump was also here. Trump's crowd was like 10 times that of thing.
Really?
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that right across.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they all visited Georgia too on Monday, like the day before.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, Ham, what about Pittsburgh? You didn't talk about Allegheny County.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is This always is a very like Philly, right? It's very dependable.
Yeah.
So these two are very, very dependable. A lot of blue collar guys in Pittsburgh, but they're all union guys, so it's very good. It's the union workers who do very well. And Allentown is also very union based. That's why we get a lot of vote in Allentown as well. But the rest of the places, this is all coal country, and it's really shitty state. And for 30, 40 years, so they believe in busting up Washington. So that's why you cannot pull them out of Trump because they like what he's doing. They think he's a bomb thrower, and they want bomb throwers. So tough, really, really tough.
Which is surprising in some ways, right? Because really, they really benefited in any way.
No, that's the thing. Their point is neither Democrats nor Republicans have given them anything, right? So you got to see the places. Once my daughter had a violin, selection for the states happening in one of the in this county, right, Columbia County. So we went there and look at it. It's very high, 65% for Trump. And if you go there, it's boarded up downtown, and then the school didn't even have an orchestra, but they were doing orchestra selection for the states right there. It was a small building, very run down, and barely an auditorium that was there, and it was really, really pathetic. And you go drive through that. So there are mines that are being abandoned and they burn today. I mean, there are ghost towns here in all these places. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The roads are in bad shape. Everything is in bad shape, and nothing has changed for them for 30, 40 years. And just like we blame the blacks in the ghettos, I mean, these guys get blamed, right? I mean, they don't. Their feeling is their life hasn't improved yet. They are told they are whites, and that's why the thing is that's where somebody has to come and tell them, no, it's fine. We'll help you as well, and nobody's telling them. That's the problem, because they feel that there is more focus on poor blacks than poor them, right? Because they happen to be white, and that's the fundamental change the Democratic Party has to do. So anyway, so that's the lowdown on Pennsylvania.
Coal mines are still open, right, Sriram? Or
I'm sorry?
they keep closing. Coal mines are still open, right?
There are a handful of them. Most of them are gone. Most of
Really?
them are gone. Yeah. They opened up a few after Trump came, but they're not doing that well.
How is
They
the
cannot
shale
survive.
The biggest is fracking. Fracking is saving a lot of these counties.
Yeah, that's what I
And
heard.
that's why when they hear somebody say we are going to shut down fracking, they get very scared because that's the first time in their lives they've seen jobs.
Yeah.
And
I think
so,
actually Pennsylvania, from a fracking standpoint, Pennsylvania, that area itself, right, is mostly gas.
yeah,
And
it
gas
is
is okay, relatively speaking, compared to what's happening in Texas. Texas is more oil.
oil, correct.
Gas is there as well, but Pennsylvania is predominantly gas, and that's
But there
relatively.
is a problem there because what happened was in the I don't know somewhere near Altoona, they had they tried to pump, so it created minor tremors as well as the water was polluted. So that's why but bear in mind, Pennsylvania is just incredibly pretty from outside. You don't go into the towns, that's all. But when you go around in the all of this, as you see, there are tons of forests up north where Manikam's son lives, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
in
mean,
this
the
area,
drive there is always very pleasant.
it's a beautiful area. You can't. It's pretty as pretty as it gets. But you'll also see tons of Confederate flags and stuff like that. It's really bad. It's pretty bad. So that's where they want to bring fracking in. That means it affects the forest area. So that's another controversy that's happening. So these guys are saying, we first time in my lives we are getting jobs. You'll be very surprised. You go into these places, there'll be like 10 guys, 20 guys in a village. That's it. And it's a huge damn state. End to end, it's like 5.5 hours of travel, and 67 counties. So it's very different. So the culture here is different from culture here. We are more Jersey than Pennsylvania. And Pittsburgh is on its own. Yeah.
Is there like Amish country somewhere there?
Yeah, it is Lancaster here. Oh, that's Cumberland. Sorry, here. Sorry. That's Amish. And Amish actually don't participate, but even if they're very conservative enough to vote for Trump. They don't participate. They're not allowed by religion to participate, so they don't. So anyway, it doesn't. But this is all Trump country. Harrisburg once again is so everywhere this is blue because Center County, because this is where Penn State is, so it's a university place, but low population. And then you have Pittsburgh, then you have Philly area, all Philly suburbs, and then you have Allentown area, which are actually 3 cities in one: Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton, and then Scranton area. So that's how it goes. So this is all. So the blue is very, very well defined, and the rest are all pretty bad.
All right.
So okay. Anyway, next time we'll push in more into Reading. Hopefully, this is ripe for conversion.
The other thing is, given the price of oil, I think all this fracking industry is in trouble because, Biden doesn't want to do any more fracking. Kamala,
correct. No, but as this is an interesting part. As Khalil said, there's more natural gas here under the shale. In fact, it's interesting. The biggest shale company here was going to be bought by Reliance. I don't know what happened to that deal. I think it went through or didn't go through. There are Indians involved in the shit. Okay, so the Reliance guys were going to be involved in the shale gas stuff. And then the other interesting fact is Bethlehem, which is right next to Allentown, has used to have steel industries which are owned by what's that, Hindujas, right?
Mittal guys.
Mittals. I'm sorry, Mittals. Yeah, and they're gone. So that's a thing.
So Maggie, on sorry to interrupt here, the transition on green, that's a different discussion for a longer time. But from oil, the transition is going to be gas. There's no getting around it.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Mute your phone when you argue.
Yeah, my daughter is arguing with me.
Welcome to the club.
So anyway, it's going to be gas, Ham. I mean, not Ham, Maggie. Before we go to.
I don't have a problem with the gas because it's a cleaner form of energy, right? compared to
It is, and what I'm saying is it's an easier transition. I know one of the things that you talk, because I have a lot of clients in this area, and it's a tricky one when you talk to them. And I'm not supporting it, but I'm just saying when you look at the practical economics of it, some of the things are going to transition to gas, not only in the automotive segment, but also in the other energy segments. Gas will play a role because it's an easier capex investment. You know, you're getting into capex issues right now. Okay, so from a capex standpoint, gas is an easier transition, but it's a cleaner transition relatively speaking. And gas is it's still, you know, very affordable right now, you know, in terms of pricing, oil versus thing, and it's not as complicated to actually frack. But the issue regarding tremors and earthquakes, like you said, in Oklahoma and Pennsylvania, is going to be there. That part you can't get away with it. And then the water cleanliness, especially with the, you know, the dirty water that you come, the frack water is really dirty.
Yeah, I mean, what I see here in Pennsylvania is you got all this open land. Just put some freaking solar farms and generate some solar energy there, right?
No. We have our solar stuff is not that great. So yeah, you need sunshine. I mean, it's all highly wooded areas here in the middle.
Yeah.
Very heavily wooded.
Is it windy? Is it windy or no? It's not.
No, it is not that windy. No, there is wind power in Wilkes-Barre and Scranton area. They did put it up top of a hill. But what's happening is the bird hits are getting really nasty. So, so everything has its consequences. So I think fracking gas is okay. I think they will. That's why they want to keep it going compared to other guys. So on the south. So yeah.
Fracking is relatively better compared. I mean, for gas is relatively. It's all about relative things, you know.
Yeah.
But when you frack for natural gas, don't you produce a lot of carbon?
You know, when you actually frack, you know, when you frack for oil, actually in many cases the gas is the byproduct. If you want to, there's effluent gas that comes when you're fracking for oil. But in this particular case, there's not oil, there is gas. They're fracking for gas in Pennsylvania. It is the thing that comes out. There's no other. You're talking about when you burn the gas, there is some carbon emission, but that's a little bit lower compared to actually whole purification process of heavy oil, crude oil, if I can tell you. Does that make sense? There is some carbon emissions that comes out of burning gas, but that is much lower compared to going to oil, you know, taking crude oil and purifying that and then burning the oil for petrol.
But these
only Chunk probably understands what the hell is going on, what you're describing.
No, I understand, PP. What do you mean? Let me ask you another question. These frackers in Texas that were doing oil are going out of business one by one.
Yes, that's because you and I can have a separate conversation on that. So because the rest of the crowd will get bored on that one, because some of my clients, my consulting clients, you know, on the business side, I have some clients who are working in that area. That's because of economics. Because when you talked about the cost of oil, what does it take to pull it out of the, you know, the fracking and getting it out? You talked about $40 break-even point and all that kind of stuff. That's where the economics are not working.
Yeah, I spoke to
Midland has, the Midland area has a lot of oil. That's like we're talking about, you know, oil comparable to even Saudi Arabia. It's just harder to take it out.
Right.
We're talking about $8 to take it out of the $6 to $8 to take it out of the thing in Saudi Arabia, to compared to about $30, $40 in the US.
Exactly.
And this is not an area that I've just because I'm consulting now, I got into clients this way because my background is, I've never done any chemical engineering stuff. I learned this whole industry, you know.
All right. Thank you guys. So great job, everybody. And we did it. So
yes.
And we're gonna celebrate, and we're gonna look forward to a better governing government, right? That's basically what we're looking for. No racism, you know, just make it like Biden said, you know, just give everybody a shot to make it, you know.
But it's not going to change in 4 years, but it'll improve. Let's wait for improvement. I'll take incremental. Then
Maggie, can I take make a couple of suggestions?
Go for it.
As we go. I know we're trying to finish up here, but one of the things that, you know, again, talking in terms of productivity and what you can do, you know, I know all of us are engaged at the national level and the state level. The local level really makes a difference. And what I mean by is like City Hall. Sometimes we don't think about that. And if any of you are able to get into, because many of you have gotten into it, I have been in a different situation since I came in California, but I'll eventually get back, but into the activism in the local level. But if you're able to get into City Hall, especially the Economic Development Council, these are all volunteer jobs where you get nominated. That would be super. You'll see a whole different picture if you belong to the committees there locally in the city. And that's phenomenal in terms of getting exposure to that. And we can contribute a lot because, we are people of technical background and business background very often, that we're able to give a lot to offer when you start getting into the City Hall and get into the commissions. They have the Economic Development Commission. That's where you'll make one of the biggest impacts. And there are a lot of other human rights commissions and everything. That could be something that we can all do. And then we can talk about actually helping with policy papers and stuff like that with other things as well.
All right.
Hey, TT, Monix, AVV, Chankla, pesa matangla. I'm just waiting for them. They're not going to speak.
It's up to them.
I'll say something.
Go for it, Triam.
Yeah, please.
I'm not much, haven't been following politics or what's going on around the country for so many years, right? And Sri Javadi reached out to me about maybe 5-6 months ago, talking about Desi Blue, right? And I didn't know, since I didn't know much, I didn't know how I would contribute. So I said, the least that I could do is put in my 2 votes for Biden this time, which we did. And then, here listening to what Sangeeta had to say and listening to all the work that is done, it makes me, and again, knowing that Ohio is all red, makes me want to jump in and help out for the future. So here I am, available for the next time.
Absolutely.
Join the local Desi Blue group. Boom, and you're in.
Hey,
I saw this thing, and I think I'll jump in and maybe reach out to you guys to get any input to see how to go about doing it.
Yeah.
So
awesome, Monix. I want to hear AVB. AVB, I want to hear.
Yeah, sure, Langi. I didn't do a whole lot other than delivering California.
Good job.
I think there's a big chunk of vote that contributed not to his presidency. It's not a swing state, but if you look at the 71 million, that most comes from us.
Yeah.
Actually, look at the difference.
Monicum, congratulations on being a granddad.
Wow, congrats, Monicum.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been about 2 months. So.
Hey, AV, WhatsApp. Miss
No, RT84 WhatsApp I'm not that active.
Oh, that is why.
Yeah, man, that WhatsApp thing. Mahendran, after you added me in, I think it was a week ago or something.
Yeah.
It's like trying to drink water out of a fire hose here.
For fire hydrant, right? That's how it is.
And I kind of gave up because I was like, there's no way I can keep up with this.
No, nobody can.
Nobody can. I don't either, Jimmy.
Yeah. No, what Khalil does is he'll come in at like 8 p.m. He'll go back and pick up the important ones, and he'll respond to 4 messages. That's it.
That's
right, Jimmy.
Otherwise, you can't do it.
Right. So,
Jimmy, can you believe it? That 500 messages I just scroll through in 15-20 minutes, man. That's it. I mean, it is.
Yeah. But also, I don't have the notifications. I don't have the notifications on.
Khalil will definitely respond to any chemical engineer's comment.
Oh, okay. I'll remember that.
Right, Khalil?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what the topic is. Most of the topics seem to be about dosa, idli, stuff like that I can. I don't mind eating it though.
Okay, we're gonna actually. I think 3M sent me the song, so we're gonna go back in time and listen to this song.
Hey, guys, I need to drop off. Thank you because I got some other meeting right now.
Bye, Jory. Good one, my friend.
Guys,
kudos.
Go for it.
Business online takes effort, and when it's ready for the world to see.
Enough of that MJR bullshit. All right, that's enough. Unless you guys want me to play the rest.
No, we're good.
You can watch later.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
What did you want to show, 3M?
Dosa.
Okay, what about it? Go for it.
Dosa saprana.
I just had some actually tamarind rice with some dal. It was really good.
Wow. Maggie, are we done or are we going to continue for a little bit longer?
We're done. I'm just going to play some songs. Whoever wants to stay can stay, but
Okay.
thank you for coming.
Hey, let's hear from
Thank you,
Chunk.
guys. Chunk is here, man.
Yeah. Chunk, why don't you close this up for us?
Sorry, what?
Close this up.
Close it up for us is what is it? Chunks, put a celebration there, man. Call us all to there. We'll go into Biden's house.
Yeah, the problem.
Maggie, play that song for Sita, the one that I sent you.
Sita never came.
Rajinikanth song.
No, but Sita never attended, and I don't have the song.
Varla. Okay.
Maggie, sorry guys, Maggie, you switch to the dosa sambar because of Kamalakka.
Yeah.
I thought typically you like pizza, burgers, all these things at this part of our celebration dinner.
But
is it a Kamalakka effect?
Actually, Kamalakka, her favorite food is roast chicken.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Roast chicken.
Oh, that is Jamaican. I think you already said that in one of the posts, I think. Yeah.
Oh, jerk chicken?
No, roast chicken. That's
roast chicken.
Jamaican food.
Roast chicken, yeah.
Yeah.
So
she's a Baptist.
But you know what? She's going to make an awesome VP. I'm so excited. That, you see how she deferred to Biden, talked about loyalty and all that stuff. She's going to be awesome. And Biden's going to basically trust her like how Obama trusted Biden. She's going to get a lot of good assignments and she's going to make her mark. And if she does well, you're looking at the next president of the U.S.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, do you want to say a few words or should we wrap it up?
You're good.
You're good?
I'm good. Just
All
glad
right,
to
Chunk,
see
we'll
all
catch
you
up
guys
sometime,
again.
man. I'll call you sometime, Chunk.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in Wilmington, Delaware. So, Ham, where exactly are you?
I'm in Allentown, near Allentown. It's called Makanji. It's southwest of Allentown.
Okay, it's not too far from here.
No, it is not far at all. I go to Raymond's house and go to my sister's house in Virginia. So we used to do that.
Stop
So
by
yeah,
on the way.
yeah, absolutely. Wilmington is on the way for me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. That's
Yeah. You too. You're welcome to visit us too.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, thanks. Great, Ra. It was
Good work,
great.
guys.
It was lovely.
Putting this
Yeah.
together.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.
See you guys. Yep.